Okay, folks, sorry for another boring hotel video, but my feet are so tired. I just did a little mini video as I was walking down the street and I said 11 hours for the tour. I was wrong. It was actually 13 hours since I got back at 9 and left at 8 this morning. So holy bananas. And I looked at my fitness thing and it was over 10 miles of walking, which considering we were on the bus for, God, it had to have been 4 or 5 hours of the day between going from one spot to the next. That's a lot of freaking miles in kind of a short period of time. So my feet are tired. Summary of the day. Started out kind of grumpy because, I don't know, there were so many people. So the meeting spot was taxi stand across the street from McDonald's by the train station. Well, it turns out there were 2 McDonald's. So at first I went to the wrong one. And then I thought, oh my God, it couldn't possibly be that taxi stand over there with the 1,000 people standing in front of it, but it was. So it was like so many people standing in line, and the tour company essentially was just counting people off and then saying, here you go. And you took off with a guide and then walked a good long bit to get to where the actual bus took off. And they just kept doing that all day. But once we finally got off and running, it was okay. Got on the bus. First stop was San Giammano. I think that's how you say it. And it was really cool. It was a medieval town, and they like had areas of town where it was setting up to do medieval things, but we got there so early that they hadn't even set everything up yet, but it was really cool. Got to stop there for a while. And then we went to a farm, an organic farm, and had a wonderful lunch and tried multiple different kinds of wine. I don't drink red, so I just drank the white and the dessert wine, but both were very good. Had pasta, bread with olive oil, little like biscotti-like biscuits dipped in the dessert wine, which was really good, salad, and then a meat and cheese plate. So really nice lunch with wine somewhere in between Siena and San Giammano. So then after lunch, we went to Siena, and Siena's really cool. It's where they have the horse race. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of it. I had read about it in one of my spy espionage thriller books. There's a character in one of them, and he actually goes to Siena, and so I'd read a little bit about it in that book, but that was fiction and just talking about it in the abstract as something that he was seeing, not really knowing anything about it. So did a little research on the different parts of the city and how the horse race worked, and then the tour guide told us a lot about it as well, and it was a really beautiful city, and the Duomo there was gorgeous. The one in Florence yesterday is pretty from the outside, but kind of plain on the inside. And the one today was just incredible. The floors were marble, done in all these different colored marbles, and there were just frescoes painted on all the walls, and the ceilings were even done. It was gorgeous. So that was in Siena. The square was huge and beautiful. The town hall had a huge bell tower. I managed to find a spot to get some good pictures in both San Giammano and Siena. My timing in San Giammano was perfect. I got to each spot so early that nobody was there, but then as I was leaving each place, the lines got huge. So I was really blessed in my timing. Then we took off for Pisa, and that was about an hour and a half. They showed us a little documentary on the bus about the horse race, so that was fun. And then he gave us all time to nap, which I think most people actually did take a nap on the bus before we got to Pisa. And we got to Pisa, and not everybody had tickets to go up into the tower, so some people just wandered about, and there were some of us who got tickets to climb the tower, and oh my gosh, was it cool. It was disorienting. It is way more tilted than you think it is, and when you're in it, it feels oddly disorienting. and coming down, you kind of feel like when you're drunk and you lose your equilibrium. I know that's a bad thing to say, but that's what it felt like. But very cool, pretty views from the top. I bought my first souvenir of the trip. I couldn't help myself. I've mentioned multiple times my spiritual connection to butterflies, and I walked out of the area where we were meeting, and I just saw this shirt, and it just spoke to me, and I just had to have it. So this is my one souvenir that I've actually bought. We'll see if I can manage to actually fit it in my suitcase, because it was already packed pretty much to capacity even before that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I just throw some stuff away, and some of these cheapy t-shirts that I've been wearing day in and day out, maybe I'm tired of those and I just get rid of them. I met some really, really nice people throughout the day at different parts of the day. I'm an odd number, obviously 1. And so there was this family that was an odd number, 3, husband and wife and their little girl, Grace. Husband and wife were Rebecca and Travis. And so I ended up sitting with Travis. And so each time we got on and off the bus, I was sitting with him. And then his wife and daughter were across the aisle. And they're just wonderful. They're from Melbourne. I got to, speak a lot with Travis, just about life in general and families and travel and wonderful conversation. And then found out really at the end, so I kind of wish I would have had more of a chance to talk a little bit with Rebecca, because she's also doing YouTube videos. She's not doing hers to public, so mine are public. I mean, most of the time I only shared the link with people that I know. So not really public, but I guess you could find them if you searched. Hers are just private. She's just posting them and then sending links to friends and family that want to watch. So, but according to Travis, she's kind of a pro at it and does a lot of editing and other things and puts music on it, which obviously for those of you who've been watching these movies or these videos, I do not do such a thing. I smudge everything together and hope for the best. And then I met another nice family, Evelyn and Joel, and their 2 kiddos. Let's see, where were they from? Darn it. Oh, I met so many people and now I can't keep track of where everybody was from. I feel like Miami area. And then another couple was from Kendall, which is near Miami. And then the final couple that I met kind of at the tail end of the day, Bronson and Rachel, and actually that's who I was walking from the train station with and chit-chatting for a little while. She is a elementary special ed teacher. He works in business finance, something like that. We didn't go into details on his stuff, but they're also going to Venice tomorrow. They're on a train an hour before me. They're doing the same tour I'm doing the next day, but it's an hour and a half after. But maybe we'll run into each other. I did just get off the phone with my cousin and she's all packed and confirmed, and I'm going to see her tomorrow in Venice. I'm really excited to have a travel buddy, finally, someone to wander about with in between the tours. But the tours are a blessing. Meet so many wonderful people. Lunch was lovely. All the folks I just mentioned actually connected with initially during lunch. Just comparing stories and again, shared about Daniel and had that moment where I really feel like God calls me to share my story of what I'm doing and how Daniel, and the loss of Daniel inspired me to live my life and do things that I dream of doing, and sharing that with others honors him, I hope. And if David, my other brother, is watching this, I hope he agrees that sharing Daniel and how much we loved him and what he taught us, David and I's relationship is better now than it was, and that's thanks to Daniel too. So that's a blessing, things that we've gotten from him. It's a really, really good day all in all. Started off a little rocky, but turned out to be pretty great. I met more people today than I've met on any of my other tours, and had just short connections with some and long conversations with others, all of which just felt like a blessing, enhanced my heart and my spirit, and I'm so grateful. Now I'm back in the hotel. I don't even feel like eating. I just want to put my feet under some cold water, and I'm going to pack in the morning because I am exhausted, and that's the last thing I want to do right now. So I'm going to get cleaned up and head to bed, but more for tomorrow. I am off to my Tuscany tour, and despite being super grumpy yesterday, due probably to lack of sleep, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, good grief, that's happening all the time now. Heading to my tour, slept better last night, so my first experiment in not having anything to drink, and then seeing if that helps me sleep. Success, but could have just been 3 nights without sleep. I was exhausted. So we'll see where this study finds us next. Okay, first stop on the Tuscany tour in what our tour guide calls medieval town of, oh, let me get past this suitcase roller. San Gimignano in Tuscany wine country. (16th century, 14th century, 15th century. Okay, we're leaving our second stop, Siena. Lots of cool history in Siena with the 17 districts and the paleo horse race twice a year, and just really cool. The Duomo was stunning. It had the most interesting inside with dark ceilings and the most beautiful marble floors in 5 different colors. Most of the other Duomos have either had beautiful columns and sculptures or a beautiful ceiling with frescoes. This one had all of that, plus crazy beautiful floors, so it was fascinating and beautiful. Decided to take a little break, found myself a gelato smoothie, and just sat near our meeting point, found a shady spot and vegged until everybody showed up. And now we are leaving Siena and getting ready to head to Pisa. So it's about an 1.5-hour bus ride, so maybe I'll take a nap. And then I've got a leaning tower to climb. Yay! So I'm in Pisa, got this beautiful church behind me, but I also have a leaning tower. Got a, see, half an hour to wander about town. Need to meet the guide in front of the tower in about 25 minutes so I can climb the 284 or 286 steps, depending on which side of the tower they have you go up. There are 2 different number of steps depending on which side. Due to the leaning, I read all about everything on Wikipedia because my tour guide provided minimal information. He's fabulous, he's doing a really good job, but he didn't have all the stuff I wanted to know. So anyways, I'm excited. Get pictures and video from the top. It is really, really lean. It feels crazy just to walk up. It's so leaning. made it to the top. It only took like 4 minutes. And that was just because there were people everywhere. Look at how cool these bells are. Little bell, big bell, medium bell, big bell. It's so fun. Thank you.
I wondered what it was like.
Okay, so I just got off the bus, well, like 10 minutes ago, because I was walking with some of the folks from my tour and chit-chatting for a little bit as we were all heading back into the town. Got off the bus and now I'm just walking back to my hotel. My feet are killing me. It is 9:12. We did not get back we left this morning. I met the tour at 7:45. We probably headed out at 8:15, 8:30. And now we're getting back 11 hours later. This is insane. But it was a really good day, so I'll say more in a little bit. Right now I'm just walking. Okay, so there's a man on a horse saying hello to the restaurant right next to my hotel.